Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Niti Namine Snigdhachetaha Supranetaha Vagminam Charasaplutam Prabhupada Gataha Prana Naumi Bhakti Charupadam Naumi Bhakti Charupadam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurbani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Teshatarini Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayangropakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. So in this new year, we are still amidst the darkness of the pandemic. So on one hand, we have this feeling of, hey, it's a very happy new year. So let's all wish each other a very happy new year. But we're still sitting on the throes of darkness. I know each of us have been through our own journey, and each of us have experienced so many different things. But all of us have seen this darkness that has pervaded the entire universe, pandemic. Of late, we've been hearing so many different effects of the pandemic, not just the right-away effects of illnesses, deaths. Apart from that, people who are left behind or manage to survive. There's so many ups and downs everyone is going through, job losses, difficulties in learning, difficulties in education, political upheavals. So there's a lot of upheavals going on all around us. Somehow, suddenly, everyone I know is thinking of, let there be peace. God, just let there be peace after a while. Please let there be peace. We just want some peace. We don't want to hear any more bad news, whether it's Omicron, Floricron, Anycron, it doesn't matter. We don't want to hear any more about that. So I want to take the opportunity to talk about a shloka that is in our Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5:29. It's called the peace formula, especially by Srila Prabhupada and his amazing movement. The peace formula is very prolific in its attacking the problem at its base. So there is so many hungry mouths all over the world. It is never enough. There is never enough food. There is never enough opportunities. There is never enough or happiness or material happiness or having leeways for everybody in the same way. There's always a disparity in everything, in almost every aspect of life. So we will go through this particular shloka. Bhoktaram yajñatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram Surdam sarva bhutanam Gyatva mam shanti mruchati. Shri Krishna says, a person in full consciousness of me, O Arjuna, knowing me as the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices, of all activities, of all austerities, being the supreme lord of all planets, of demigods and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, he is the one who attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So he classifies all the ups and downs as material miseries. One word, material miseries, 2 words. And they literally encompass, or they cover, all the different ups and downs that we go through. And it's literally the word miseries which will stand out. So be it Bill Gates, be it a cowherd in Vrindavan, be it a very famous diplomat, a politician, or a famous actor, or a very rich person, or be it a simple housewife sitting in Bangalore. None of them are exempt from certain things. None of us are exempt from certain things. In that we have full, unity. Extreme unity. All of us get old. All of us fall ill, whether it's a cold or a fever or cancer, something or another is happening. Each of us have our own gradations. All of us are struggling to go up the ladder, whatever ladder we want to call it, the corporate ladder, material ladder, education ladder, to achieve, to do something. All of us are either struggling, in the process of struggle, or getting there and trying to hold on to what we have, or getting there and wanting some more. So there is no stop, there is no period at the end of the sentence. Where is this all leading to is a question. And because of that, we see the disparities. Therefore, nobody is really happy with what they make. Of course, there are some really self-realized people, I should say. So I cannot bring everybody under a group. But in general, if we see, this disparity should not even be there. Krishna says, a person who's in full, so there are three characteristics here which is coming out right in that one shloka. Bhoktaram yajya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam. Suhrid means peace. So Krishna says, one who really knows the truth, one who really is in full consciousness of me, Lord Krishna, to be the ultimate beneficiary. So no matter what kind of enjoyment we derive, this is not just about having food, any material enjoyment, anything at all. It can be a huge house, a palatial house, it can be a field, it can be a farm that belongs to somebody, it can be a factory that belongs to somebody, it can be a huge corporation that belongs to somebody, a brand new, some technological, something somebody has made that belongs to that person, and everything under the sun, literally, it's material miseries, because for every single action of ours towards that means there is a struggle, means there is something which will goad us further and further and further and further. There's no end to it. We are almost 70 years old. It's all done. Whether it's 70 or 80 or 90 years old, it does not matter. It's always that graph seems never to stop. But yet, Lord Krishna says verily to Arjuna, "O Arjun, if somebody," so that also tells us another, I won't call it a secret, it's like a generic thing, that not too many of us know this, or want to know this, or even if we know, we're not really paying heed to Sri Krishna. Yet it is the peace formula. It is the formula that can make each and every one of us contribute in a very better way towards the society, towards our growth, towards everyone else around us. So if we realize that what I'm having here, as whether it's my food or my property or my knowledge or my position in life, everything, it doesn't really belong to me. I am here only as a karta. I'm just doing. I'm here. I was born here, somehow by the grace. I'm here. I got this. It really doesn't belong to me, because it took 5 minutes for someone to die in COVID. He or she didn't have to wonder, oh, okay, let me go ahead and plan for a great vacation. No, March. I still remember that day. I think it was around March 17th. I was just back from Mayapur to my home in Bangalore, and my sister comes running saying, oh my God, we are hearing about this, and all flights are going to be stopped. And within, it's like almost hours after that, we keep hearing news. This one passed away, that one passed away, this one's dead, that one is in the hospital. And of course, the next month was like skyrocket, spiraling into the speed of how things happened all over the world. All over the world. People fell ill, people fell sick. The hospitals were not able to cope up. Nobody has any cure for this disease. And so many do's and don'ts. Suddenly we're all afraid to even sit next to each other. We're afraid to call each other. We're afraid to ask, hey, how are you? Oh, okay, fine. our whole characteristics changed. Krishna says, a person in full consciousness of the reality of truth, that nothing belongs to anybody, everything belongs. I am the proprietor. Along with the fact that I am the proprietor of all sacrifices and austerities. So हम पुण्य भी जो करते हैं, even our yajnas, we may be great yajnakartas. We may be in a position to do, okay, tomorrow I'm going to, or next weekend I'm going to feed 1,000 people. It takes 2 minutes for something to happen to us, and we're not there next week. Something else happens. It's so fragile. Our whole, semblance is so fragile. And it took a pandemic to make at least some of us realize it. Who knows what's ahead? But then Krishna says, I am also the only permanent well-wisher. Says, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the well-wisher of all living entities. So he does not use Manusha. Manusha Nam Sahasreshya is another sentence in Bhagavad Gita. Here he says, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I am the proprietor and the well-wisher for all living entities. So it doesn't matter whether it's a dog, it's a cat, it's a rat, it's a human being, it's an elephant, anybody. I am the one who takes care. Gyatva mam shantim richati. So one who knows this aspect and gives everything to me, and then just bhoktaram, he's enjoying it. He is doing the bhoga. We are not the people who are the bhogeshwariyas. We are not enjoying it. We are really not. So Prabhupada's purport is amazing for this particular shloka. I'll just go through some lines of it. The conditioned souls within the clutches of the illusory energy are all anxious to attain peace in the material world. Because by nature, we all want peace and happiness. By nature, we are all not saying, I want to be a king and rule the whole world. But that's how we behave. Because in our little realms, we want to lord it over everybody else. We have our little realms. When I say realm, I mean, in my home. She is the queen of her kitchen. Nobody dares say anything. Same way, this is his home. So we always attribute somebody's home, somebody's, company. So even though it is there, it is very temporal and it's really not there. But they do not know the formula for peace, which is explained in this part of the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada goes on to say, the greatest peace formula is simply this. Lord Krishna is the beneficiary in all human activities. Men should offer everything to the transcendental service of the Lord because he is a proprietor of all planets and the demigods thereon. No one is greater than Krishna. He is greater than the greatest of the demigods. In the Vedas, Shvetashvetara Upanishad, the Supreme Lord is described as Tamishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, under the spell of the illusion. Living entities, even Maya is under him, the great illusional energy. We have no control over that, yet we are within it every second. But beyond that Maya is nothing to Krishna because it is his. Mama Maya Duratyaya Devi Shesham Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva ye prapadhyante Mayametam tarantite tarjaoge. Come to me, surrender to me. I will get you out of all this trouble. Somebody is actually stretching out his hand and trying to pull us out of this mire. But we prefer to be in our safety of our homes because our homes are more safe than reaching out to Krishna. Prabhupada goes on to say, the Lord is the master of material nature and the conditioned souls are under the stringent rules of Maya, material nature. Unless one understands this fact, it is not possible for one to achieve peace in the world, either individually or collectively as a society. This is the sense of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna is the supreme proprietor, including all living entities. When one can attain perfect peace only in the knowledge of this. So, knowing this and then behaving accordingly, according to this knowledge. That is, when we have knowledge, it's just not enough to get knowledge. We also follow it up by behaving in the correct way. The 5th chapter is a practical explanation of Krishna consciousness, generally known as Karma Yoga. The question of mental speculation as to how Karma Yoga can give liberation is answered herewith. To work in Krishna consciousness is to work with the complete knowledge of the Lord as a predominator. Such work is not different from transcendental knowledge. So, people who know all the Vedas, they have by-hearted every single, khanda and, canto and everything they know. But if in the end they do not follow the simple truth and base their actions and their thought process on the simple truth, everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor. So whatever I have, I will share with everybody, offer it to Lord Krishna, share with everybody, and still be able to enjoy whatever I have. Because ultimately, I am not the owner of anything. Ultimately, it will take a second if Krishna wills for me to go away and to come back as another person, probably begging this other guy whom I didn't share with. That is how profound our life is. It takes seconds. So the reality is on so many levels, we are totally unaware of it. That's what Sri Krishna says. Look at me as the owner, the proprietor, but because I am the well-wisher, once you surrender to me, it is literally my job to take care of you. Krishna takes care of us unconditionally because he says his bhaktas, his devotees will never be vanquished. Name bhaktaha pranashyati. He says, my devotees will never be perished. There is a Kunti Samvad. When Kunti knows very well that Krishna is going to leave, Indraprastha or Delhi as we call it now, to go back to his place in Mathura. Suddenly it hits her. Kunti is his aunt. But over the years of when her consciousness develops, she's a great soul anyway, she understands that he's not a little nephew who runs around and plays pranks. He's literally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he's ready to leave and go back, suddenly it grips her. How can I envisage, how can I think about life without Sri Krishna? That's when she realized it is Sri Krishna. Till then it was little Gopal running around Kanha. But the minute when she has evolved as a devotee, she realized this is Sri Krishna, the husband of opulence itself. And I've been treating him so lightly and just, he's all for me, all he is my source of help. What's going to happen when he leaves, my town and goes back to his place? Again, I'm even afraid to face reality. They have won the war. By this time, her sons have won the Kurukshetra war. Because by then she has realized, even winning the war, even after going through so much, she suddenly remembers at every juncture of her life, at every juncture, he has been behind her as her consciousness, as her brilliance, as her thoughts. Finally, as the one who has helped her sons at every point. Pandavas cannot be thought of without Sri Krishna. Without Sri Krishna, there are no Pandavas. Without Pandavas, Sri Krishna is fine. But without Sri Krishna, no Pandavas. Draupadi is an amazing example of a bhaktin. There never was a moment when she never thought about Krishna. So there was this very beautiful section in Srimad Bhagavatam, and also it's in the Padma Puran, one of the sections where Draupadi is asked by the wives of Sri Krishna, both Rukmini and Satyabhama. They are amazed at how affectionate Sri Krishna is towards Draupadi. He has this very special relationship towards Draupadi. And they cannot fathom, what does she do that he treats her so differently, It's not that they are jealous. They are, goddesses of fortune. But they're picked. What does this person have that other devotees lack? I mean, what is that which makes her so special to Krishna? And they come and ask Draupadi. So Draupadi says, very simple, since I have consciousness, which means since I came into being. And how did Draupadi come into being? She came literally from the fires. She was not born as any other human being. She came from a yajna. right? So since I came from the yajna, my only realization has been, I belong to Krishna. She never said Krishna belongs to me. I am his instrument. I'm his. He can do anything with me. So when I'm suffering with my husbands or without my husbands, when I'm insulted in the court, when I'm in the forest, not having any material means, when I'm struggling to keep my kids alive, when I am mauled or at least being looked at with venom and desire by Parapurusha, only thought which comes to me is I will still be protected. Because she knows, she belongs to Krishna. Krishna will not let his belongings go astray. How can it is? She is his. Like if somebody says, I'm going to tear your music thing, what do I do first? Oh my God, no, please, don't touch my music. Where do we get this attitude from? All from Krishna. Or everything is coming from him. So the knowledge that something belongs to us, we belong to Krishna. Krishna doesn't belong to us. We belong to him. So the attitude we should progress, each of us, and I say I'm talking today so that I can do this. I'm not talking to you. I am literally telling myself this should be my attitude, that Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa, the one who is enjoying is Sri Krishna and not anybody else. So whatever I need is supplied to me by the Param, by the proprietor, the owner, and I cannot ascribe ownership to myself in anything. In Ishavasya Upanishad, Prabhupada always used to quote that. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha magridah kasyas vidhanam. He says anybody and everybody who thinks that in this world whatever we see to enjoy for ourselves, it can be food, it can be any kind of material, it can be our clothes, it can be a beautiful sari or a very big coat that we wear, our office, our work, our designations, our education, our degrees beside us, doesn't belong to us at all. It's given to us out of pity. He throws it at us. Okay, go. And when he doesn't throw, he throws something else, he's still loving us. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Isha, Lord. The Lord is the proprietor. And if we do not look at it that way, and if we want to think that my home, my degree, my thing, my society, I'm going to do this, it's my achievement. Oh, I sang this song so well. Oh, I did this, I achieved this. That train of thought has resulted in nothing but self-defeat and also lot of disparity in the world. It's because we have always thought that this is ours. It is ours to enjoy. Nothing has been ours to enjoy. Because we have never been able to conquer the four things, the four major things. Birth, death, old age, disease. Still today, scientists can do whatever they want, no matter whatever whether it's Harvard University or the Stanford University. Nobody has a cure for death. And they are never going to have it also. So whatever we're going to be doing for the next 20 years or 10 years, and then we're gone. Someone else is going to come sit here and talk. For that period, let us act the right way. Prabhupada always stresses that. We have very limited time. In that limited time, let us act in a way which says that we have at least this basic knowledge that everything belongs to Sri Krishna. Ishavasyam, never ever forget. He is the Isha. He is the Lord behind everything. And let us give everything to him, even the punyas. If we give it to him, then we are unattached. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Oh, if I do, I actually met so many people in Bangalore in the pandemic. While the pandemic was raging, people were going to temples to break nariyal, to break coconuts, because each of them is having, some material, akanksha, some kind of a hope that if my son passes this exam, I can break 100 coconuts. Or if my daughter gets married, 200 coconuts. I actually saw it. My neighbors were doing it. You all heard about it, so nothing. So that business is always there because it's mine. It's my son, my daughter. And even if, and whether it's good or bad happens to every one of us. And ultimately what is true is how much we really acknowledge our purpose in life. If we have not acknowledged our purpose in life, we are still going to be here, nariyal tod ke baithenge. Not in this janma, but in another janma. And who knows whether we come back as a human being or not. So that's what Prabhupada, this was one of Prabhupada's, and it will always be, because to us, Prabhupada always lives here. So, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa is a peace formula. In fact, while Prabhupada was living and starting the movement in New York, he actually told this to even, I think, what is that famous institution, Bhaiya? The world headquarters. United Nations, yes. So when he preached there in that building, he actually talked about this particular shloka and said to bring peace and to bring, let's not worry about which country is producing arms. In fact, nobody should be doing all that. We should understand the purpose of our life, and we should. He was so plainly direct to foreigners, anybody, and people listened at that. They were like aghast. Somebody for the first time is actually chanting, the Vedic hymns and telling them about a peace formula. It has nothing to do about building arms or coming out with different software system, how to kill a huge country in one shot. That was not it. That's not the peace formula. This is the peace formula. And this is for everyone. There is no one who is denied this beautiful truth and this beautiful, amazing gift that Krishna gives. Arjuna is literally listening to Krishna's talks for us, for our sake. We all know that. So thank you so much again for your patience in hearing me out. And Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.